today, I would want us to be very candid with each other. We must know how to invest, because without knowing how we should be investing, then we shall end up becoming thief accountants instead of what here, chief accountants. People who know how to invest, they always live within their means. And if you live within your means, you will never have issues with anybody outside here. Never. Now, I would want us to start with looking at a very simple illustration here. Somebody who is able to save how much? Imagine if you're able to save just 10,000 shillings a month. We said this yesterday. So this is the time. Then we have here the savings. You are able to save how much? You are able to save just 10,000 shillings a month. 10,000 shillings a month. You're able to save just 10,000 shillings a month like that. And then you get somebody giving you a modest rate. A modest rate of how much? A modest interest rate of say 10%. A modest interest rate of 10%, like that. So it will be very important for us to come and calculate what we call the future value interest factor. The future value interest factor. Remember now here we are looking at the future. We are not looking at discounting. So if you remember the formula of future value interest factor, we normally take here into bracket 1 plus R, we close, raised to power n. So we don't talk about what here negative n, because now we are looking at the future. We are looking at the future. All right. So I want to get these future value interest factors. If I invest this 10,000, which is going to the end of year 3, then what will happen, ladies and gentlemen? I will come and say here equals. So first of all, I'm getting the future value interest factors. All right. All right. I can equally, instead of doing it this way, I can equally come and talk about this formula that you guys know about. If I say escape here, I can equally come and talk about this formula. Amount equals principal times into bracket 1 plus, we have here 1 plus R raised to power n, like that. This is a formula I would want to use. This is not very good. Let me avoid go the shortcut way. So now I'm making use of this formula. So amount here, we are saying amount equals, we have here the principal amount, we are saying times open bracket, we have here 1 plus the rate of interest given, come and raise this to power what here? Raise this to power n, like that. So we shall apply here. So we shall come and say here equals. So we take this as the principal amount. We say times what here, somebody? Open brackets. We have 1 plus rate of interest is 10%. And this rate of interest is going to be constant. So if it's going to be constant, there is something that we Excel users are aware of. If this 10% will be used in a uniform way in all the 3 years, what should we do? Somebody who is very conversant with Excel. Somebody who is very conversant with Excel, what should I do? I need to lock it up. I need to fix it up. So how do I fix it up? How do I fix it up? I would want to hear from you, great students. How do I fix it up? How do I fix this up? Nobody's talking to me. I will come and say F4 or function F4. To have those dollars, the dollars are the ones that show that we are really fixing this up. So in this case here, close bracket, and then you say raised to, that's shift 6, raised to the time here, which is 1. I can't lock this 1 permanently because this 1, I would want to shift. When I go down here, it will be 2. When I go down there, it will be 3. So I need to come and say control what here? Enter. So once I say control enter, and I would want this formula to be copied down, what I'll do, I'll come and put what we call the angry rabbit. I'll put the angry rabbit. This is the angry rabbit. Remember, we've got 2 types of rabbits. We have this is a plain white one, and then we have the angry rabbit that has to be caged, that has to be put there, inside there. Now, once I have that angry rabbit there, then I need to come and do what here? Hit it from behind with 2 strokes of the cane. I want it to move forward. So in computer language, we say we double click. So once you double click, you are able to get that happening there. So then I would want to know in 3 years' time, how much will this person have saved? How much will he have saved in these 3 years? So to get the total, I'll come and say Alt equals. That is the easier way of getting the summation. Alt equals. Then I'll be able to say what straight away there, Control, Enter. Control, Enter. So it means that, remember his principal amount is how much? If I come here and say Alt equals, his principal amount is 30,000. And then, of course, the bank will give this person, because of the interest implication, the bank will give this person 36,410. This doesn't really seem like a very, very good investment option. Why? Because we are looking at a gentleman here who is a lazy gentleman who is saving 10,000 shillings every year. That's too small. Now, I would want us to look at a crazily aggressive ninja. So this ninja, ladies and gentlemen, before we go to this ninja, do we have a shortcut for getting this? Do we have a shortcut for getting this? Do we have a shortcut for getting this? Oh, yes, we have it. We can come and say equals, I would want to use future value. So future value is there. So I tab like that. The rate of interest is here, 10%. I say comma. From there, number of periods. These are 3. So I'll be able to say 3 there very comfortably. From there, we have a payment. So the payment, the way it is written here, when it's a cash outflow, because when you save, you're giving away your money, the way it is written here, you have to capture that as a negative cash flow because money is going. When you're investing, you're transferring money from your accounts to the account of the bank. So minus 10,000 here. Every year, minus 10,000. 10,000 like that. And then in this case, ladies and gentlemen, you can see straight away we don't have a present value. No amount is being given today. Present value means how much are you going to give today other than this 10,000? Are you making any other further deposit? No. So 0 there. Then I say, comma, what type of investment is this? Of course, you're making beginning of the year investment. So beginning of the year investment, then come and close. So you close and say enter. What are you able to see here? This person will end up getting 36. I don't like the dollar. This person will end up getting this 36,000. So I format here and go to the symbol here. I'll be able to say none. I don't want that dollar. So in this case here, this person will get this figure here. So I just wanted to show you that here, you can easily use a formula to get this. So that now when I use the formula, when we have a lot of periods, you guys will say that the formula will not say that the formula is cheating us. The formula can never cheat us. So then we go to sheet number 2, or rather instead of going to sheet number 2, why don't I just delete this? The whole of this, I can delete it. We start from a scratch. Then now we have this great baby girl called Queen Magdalene. So Queen Magdalene decides to save savings per month. So savings per month, what do we have here? For example, 10,000. She's saving 10,000. And then I want us to assume that Queen Magdalene, right now, she's how many years old? We don't ask ladies how old they are. Let's assume she's 25. 25. So we are assuming if she's 25 and she'll be retiring, of course, at 60, it means that by the time she's retiring, this lady will have contributed for how many years? No number of years. She'll have done a comfortable 35 years of savings. Let's talk about rate of interest. So rate of interest, let's put the same 10% every year. 10% every year, like that. So then you are required here to go and advise Queen Elizabeth upon retirement, how much shall she get? How much shall she get? So if I come and highlight the whole thing, and then I double click anywhere there to have the words fitting in very well. So now I have my table showing up very well there. How much will she get? Remember, she's saving every month 10,000. It's a uniform saving. So then if it's monthly, then there are 2 things I have to do. I have to come here and get the number of months, norm. So number of months, remember each year has 12 months. So I'll come and pick this 35 here, and then I say times 12. Times 12. Then I say enter like that. So the lady at the end of the day will make a contribution, 420 contributions, because each period she's making what year? A contribution of 10,000. A contribution of 10,000. And then rate of interest, interest per month, interest per month, interest per month. What do I do? Remember, ladies and gentlemen, I have an annual. This is for a whole year. And a year has got how many months? 12. So I have to divide this to make it monthly. So then we have here, this is the rate per month. Rate per month. So now once I have this, I'll come and get the future values. And gentlemen, nobody should be poor in this world. It depends on how frugal you are in terms of how you use your money, and how bright you are in terms of how you save. And of course, after saving, then we talk about you putting these saved amounts into SARS, which will mature, say, after 20 years, etc. So this lady, if she's only doing 10,000 for 35 years, and I want to know how much she'll get, so future value here will be equal to the rate. The rate is here. The rate is 10%, comma, number of periods. Now we talk about number of months, comma, the payment. I'm supposed to talk of negative because she's saving. Money is moving away from her at this moment. So we're calling it here the payment. So it is negative this 10,000, like that. Then I should be able to say comma there. Present value, I'm not putting anything. I can either put a 0 or I just put a comma, so that it shows that I'm enclosing there a 0. And then I'm talking about beginning of the period, so I can just type 1 directly. And then I can close there. And then when, ladies and gentlemen, I say enter, when I say enter, what are we getting here? No, that cannot be correct. What has it done really? What has this done? What has this done? This cannot be correct. This can't be correct. Let's repeat this again. So we are talking of future value. This cannot be correct. 26, it's like trillion. No, we must have messed up. Let's repeat this again. So in this case, let me see this figure. So this is 0.0 in terms of percentage. Let's repeat this. Let's repeat severally. I would want to increase the decimals. All right, let's just have it like that. We see 420. All right. Okay, let's now do it again. So in this case here equals, so future value, tab. The rate is this. I hope this is what I picked because it's a monthly rate. Should be a monthly rate, comma. Number of periods, there are 420 periods, minus, in this case here, savings, it's 10,000. Savings is 10,000. We have comma. Let me put a 0 there directly because you're not putting anything today. And then we have a 1 there. And then we close brackets. So this lady, ladies and gentlemen, at the end of her working life, because she'll retire at 60 years, at the end of her working life, when she retires like this at the age of 60, she'll get, in this case here, 38 million. She'll get 38 million. She'll get 38 million if I just come here and remove that dollar. All right. So she'll end up getting 38 million, 282,700 what year? 67. I would want to make this very, very clear, my friends. Very, very clear. This is a person who has been saving how much per month? 10,000. And then at the end of the day, when she's 60 years, she gets her whole 38 million. Remember, as we progress, Queen Magdalene will get raises at her place. Once in this case, she gets salary raises, then she'll be able to increase this amount. But before I go to that, I would want to be very, very clear. I would want to show you guys the power of compound interest. This power of compound interest was discussed very well by this gentleman who wrote the book on the richest man in Babylon. richest man in Babylon. He was so good in terms of what he compounding, whatever interest he was earning, he was not eating the money. He was always plowing back that money to the extent that he became the richest man in Babylon. And of course, I would want to have some of you here becoming richest people, because I would want you to start saving like today. You save like today. You save like today. Now, ladies and gentlemen, please listen. And I would want you to listen very well. I would want you to listen and listen to me very well. Please mark this 38. Assuming in this case here, this lady just saves for 10 years alone. If she saves for 10 years alone, what are we going to get? Only 2 million. You can imagine the first 10 years, really, it's like 2 million only. She goes ahead in this case here to save for how many years? Stock of 20 years. You can see still 7 million. Look at the impact now, the last 10 years. When I go here and talk about 30 years, now start seeing things happening. When we talk of 30 years, what is happening here? You can see that it has run all the way to 2 million because of what is the compounding effect. The compounding effect. If you come and, for example, put this 35 there, you'll see in this case here, the 5 years, it's going in this case here to what year? To 38 million that we got. 38 million that we got. Now, please, I would want us to really, really look at this thing. Ladies and gentlemen, most of us are messing with our lives big time. Most of us in this case here, we start saving when it is too late, because we keep on putting excuses. I'm so sure here there are very good, many people with good salaries, but whose savings is almost zero, because they don't know the power of what here, this concept of compounding. Because they always have excuses, one excuse after another, saying that, this 200,000 I'm getting today is not enough. Lakini ukiangalia kitu ya party after party, siku hizo waliniambia kwamba wanaenda, inaitwa namna gani? Aluta. Itachingia club jioni is Friday, atatoka hapo Sunday after ameomba na pastor pia anaomba kwa bar, au si pastor straight. All right, I'll be able to discuss that, Joe. Thank you very much for asking that question. All right, so there is no way you will tell me, ladies and gentlemen, that you're moving like now the coming weekend with just friends of yours that you met in the university or wherever, and then you are spending a cool 30,000 for drinks. I'm not saying that you become very mean. We must, of course, be spending with our families here. All right. But please, when you're spending like 30,000, always don't look at that money today. Look at that money in the context of what we call time value of money. Look at the foregone interests. If that 30,000 was put into some saving scheme like a money market fund, in the next 10 years, how much will it be? In the next 30 years, when I will be walking, like bending like this will be a lot of money. 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 You can drink, Eric. Of course, people have got their own ways of celebrating these small milestones in life, generally. I'm not saying that you don't drink. If you're drinking, I'm not a pastor. I'm not here to tell you not to drink. What I'm trying to look at is a situation where my students will be able to appreciate the first rule of money. Money is scarce. Don't go and have a life of looking for cash and then you spend it like it is a toilet paper. No, money is very scarce. If you're lucky to get it and ensure that you are doing what you are saying, you are saving. Now, ladies and gentlemen, please listen and listen and listen and listen to me very well. Please listen. Where do we get to save? Or rather, before I answer that, let me repeat here. Let me repeat this. That, ladies and gentlemen, if in this case here, for example, we are saving how much here? We are saving for 10 years. If you're saving for 10 years, we shall be able to get this 22 million, like that. Ah, interesting. So in this case here, I can do a small table here that the first 10 years, in this case here, 10 years, the first 10 years will give me, allow me to write in whole numbers, will give me 2 million. The first 10 years will give me 2 million. How about in this case here, the first 20 years? The first 20 years. The first 20 years will give me how much? Let's see. The first 20 years, I want to show you something that very few people will come and tell you this. When you enter here, the first 20 years, I'm getting approximately talk of 8 million. If I'm putting whole numbers alone, talk of 8 million. I don't want to copy that down. Talk of 8 million. And then you can see in this case here, let's talk of first 35 years. when I'm retiring. First 35 years when I'm retiring. First 35 years when I'm retiring. So the first 35 years when I'm retiring, put here 35. I'm still saving that 10, 10, 10. Put there 35. When I put there 35, you can see I'm getting a whole 38 million. You can see I'm getting here a whole 38 million. A whole 38 million. Can I pause there a little bit and ask you guys whether there is an observation you are able to make? Whether there is an observation you are able to make, because I can observe great things here. I can observe great things really here. You know, interests is dependent on time. The more the time your principal will spend in a bank, the more you'll be able to earn in the form of what your interest. So you can imagine, ladies and gentlemen, here, when we talk about, let me do something very, very, very important here. We have here principal. We have the principal here. So the principal amount, how much am I giving here per month? I'm giving 10,000, all right? So times 10 years, of course, these 10 years now, I have to come and multiply with what year? With 12. So the principal amount I will have contributed here the first 10 years will be this 1.2 million. When I go first 20 years, remember, every year, my great students, I'm contributing just 10, not every year, but every month. I'm contributing 10,000 times 12, or other times 20 years, times, in this case here, times what year? Times now the 12 months, because each year has 12. Each year has 12. Look at me. I began this without an equal sign. I should have put equal there, or even plus. Okay. Now from there, ladies and gentlemen, we come down here. So like now here, what are we doing, ladies and gentlemen? Here there must be a problem. 2.4, yeah, it's okay. It's okay. So you come here, you say, hey, here you have contributed 10,000 every month, times in this case here, how many years? Times 35 years, times 35 years. And then I say in this case here, times what year? Times 12, like that. So how much am I getting there? Like that. So come and give me the interest here now, a column for interest. A column for interest. Please tusicheza na pesa zetu. Hapana. Mali tunaelekea saa hizi, we are going to what we call the first world stage. Kenya is growing pretty fast. So in this case here, remember, this is the amount. Sorry, this is the amount which you are getting here. This is the amount that you are getting, total amount that you are getting here. And we have the principal. Then to get the interest, what will I do to get the interest? I'm taking amount minus the principal amount. Control Enter like that. All right. Then I'm able to come and double click there. I'm able to get, look at what is happening. Crazy things, ladies and gentlemen, are happening here. Look at the interest here, interest alone. The first 10 years interest is just 800,000. The first 20 years interest is 5.6 million. But in this case here, the first, because of the time now, I'm telling you, look at the interest here, 33,800,000 like that. Ladies and gentlemen, the secret falls in starting to invest today. If you start to invest today, by the time in this case here, you are clocking 60 and you started saving from your very, very first salary, you're going to become a very rich man, Now, this is somebody who is earning some, say 40,000. What if, for example, this person was to save, say, like 20,000 a month? What will happen? If it was save 20,000 a month, by the end of these 35 years, this guy will be getting 76 million. Na kuna ile kama accountant unafanya kidogo, unapata pesa ya kando, unawekelea. Unapata pesa ya kando, unawekelea. All right? So the question that I'm getting from most of you guys, then how do we invest this 20,000 per month? But before I continue, have you been able to learn something? You know, I could be speaking too much and you guys have not learned anything. Have you been able to learn something? Have you been able to learn something? And remember, I've worked with a very modest rate of interest, which is 10%. Most of these, like money market funds, currently they are giving 14%. If you look at most of these money market funds currently, most of these funds here, they are giving up to 14%. If you change this, I mean, it's crazy. You can't even believe it. If you put this 14% here, Look at 14%. Look at this. 20,000 every month at 14%, you're getting 224 million. 224 million. 224 million. All right. All right. And if you are a good person of finance, you know how to trade your money. You have been able to save like this money for a year and it has reached some level and I would want to transfer this to a government bond. Government bonds are giving up to 18%. All right. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, poverty at times, I say poverty normally comes simply because we do not get to understand ourselves very well. The amount of money people are wasting as I walk around, as I see, it's crazy. And I'll be able to tell you how people waste money. For example, most of my students, they're very lucky. They get, in this case here, good job, fast salary, second salary, third salary. Banks approach them depending on the companies they work for. So banks are able to approach them. When these banks approach them, these students of mine automatically, they are able to do what here? I was not remembering that my camera is that one. My camera is not this. I've been looking down. I should be looking at you. My camera is up there. So these guys here, for example, like instead of them going for a simple vehicle, like a Toyota vehicle, you get somebody going straight away for a big machine like a Mercedes-Benz. You don't require that machine at that tender age. Most of these big machines, even ourselves, I mean, these are things you should come and buy when you are in your 40s. When you are in your 50s, not today. Why would you want to buy a Guzzler that every day, if you just move out, for example, to Nakuru, and then you come back, 10,000 is gone? Why would you want to have something like that? All right. And that formative, when you're trying to form yourself, in this case here, the most important thing you should be doing is what here is savings. Actually, like vehicles should not be like your very first priority. No. These things are vanity. Trust you me. You go and cheat yourselves here that I'm doing this and this. You have a big Subaru there, it's a Guzzler. No, you can do your Matatu until you hit 30-something. After all, you need like a good vehicle when you start getting, blessed with children. Well, if you're being too mean, I'm telling you what worked for me. What has been working for me. We're giving you these secrets here. Because the moment you start living a life of competition from the word go, when you get employment, you're losing it out. The most important thing, ladies and gentlemen, is for us to start saving, not tomorrow, but today. Actually, at that tender age of 22, if you're lucky, 23, you've gotten your job there. If you can save like 50% of your income for some good number of months, some good number of years, you'll become rich straight away. And when you are saving this money, you should always save this money this way. Let me now go to investment schemes. I think I've done this session. We're supposed to have it ending at 8:30. Do you think it's a good session? We should be able to push to 9 instead of ending it at 8:30. Do you think it's good we extend? Oh, okay. So you guys have the time. But the only bad thing is that you guys are not bringing your friends to come and listen. That is the only bad thing. You're bringing in your friends to come and listen. I really wanted this class to be so big, So as I wait for you guys to bring in your friends, I always empathize. When I see these young men, those are not finance scholars, I suppose. When you get in this case here, young man, saying that now we have bought this blue label. Is it whiskey? Whiskey, I think, man of something blue label. And then they are there actually praying for the bottle. The worst of them all, one time I was in Dar es Salaam. And then I realized that there's some brands of whiskey you buy, and then those brands are normally escorted by about 8 very beautiful women. They're coming singing. So guys are singing for you as you blow away like 120,000 Kenyan shillings. You are financially illiterate. You should not sit in a club of CPAs. You should not sit in a club of CPAs. You are financially illiterate. You're financially illiterate. Am I still in the bracket? I'll be able to answer that, Eric. But if you are 36 years, are you well within the bracket? Of course, you can start saving at any age, but the more you delay, then the more the lump sum will be required to pay to be able to catch up. And trust you me, like now, Eric, please now start advising your young brothers, because even if we pay, for example, you'll never catch up that easily. This saving plan, according to the richest man in Babylon, we are supposed to start it once you clear your college. Or if you had rich parents who are able to put in something small for you, don't squander what you inherit. So run away with that ball. When you start, in this case, getting employment, get straight away with your monthly contributions like that. Within no time, you will really have created a lot of wealth from compounding interest, compounded interest. So Eric, to answer your question, you're not very late, but the truth be told, even if you start in this case here, after many years, SR, I would want to know who is this SR. Great. So even if you are to do like huge amounts, it will be very hard for you to catch up. Yeah, that's still good enough. That's still good enough. But I'm talking now here to my young students here. Please start saving at what age? 25, 26, around there. And save seriously. Live a frugal life. Remember that age, never be cheated that you are running around looking for land. No. Use what we call, for example, money market funds. Money market funds. And MMF, ladies and gentlemen, is that fund where you are able to invest anytime. You can join in anytime, and you can withdraw anytime. All right. So you can invest like 100 shillings. You can pump in 200, 300, 100,000. And then, of course, when you want your money, you'll be able to get it at any time. That's also quite a sad thing. Good investment schemes are those schemes, once in this case, you put in your money, you should not easily harvest that money back because of the human nature. I mean, needs are all over. You'll get yourself, in this case here, going to get that money from wherever you have stored it. All right. But you see, money market funds, ladies and gentlemen, yeah, for short-term investments, yes. For short-term investments, yes. For short-term investments, they give you very good returns up to 14%. All right. And then they allow you to build up. I normally say that money market funds are like baskets. All right. When you have like 10 shillings, instead of going to use those old kind of tins, we used to like have some holes there, and then we were putting in the coins. No, nowadays you have a money market fund, which is your wallet. It could be an electronic wallet, where basically whenever you get something surplus, you should never put your money in the bank. Serious people in Kenya don't put their monies in banks because banks are thieves. These guys will give you like 3% or 2% a whole year. So instead of putting your money in a bank, take this money, for example, to some good money market fund, MMF. Let me tell you a secret. Let me tell you what people do. For example, if you work hard and get something like, say, 500,000 to about 1 million shillings in a good money market fund, your emergency fund, everybody needs an emergency fund. So if you put 500,000 to, say, 1 million Kenya shillings in a money market fund, these guys will be able to give you, if you wish, you can be withdrawing on a daily or a weekly basis. You'll be able to get an amount which will be able to give you your daily livelihood without working. But I have 1 million shillings in a money market fund, or 2 million shillings in a money market fund. If I withdraw like on a monthly basis, and I'm withdrawing only interest, although it's not allowed, encouraged, but if you withdraw something, say like 30,000 to 40,000 shillings like that, then you will be able to do very, very well. So remember, if you have got about, say, 2 million, talk of 2 million, I'm joining QA class. Yes, you'll be able to watch this. You'll be able to watch this later. Yes, I'll be able to hang it up. I'll be able to hang it up. So ensure, ladies and gentlemen, that you are investing these monies of yours in a platform that pays interest, which is higher than inflation, which is higher than the rate of inflation. Remember, inflation in Kenya currently could be about 7%. So when you go and invest your money in a bank, say you have 500,000, the bank is giving you 3%, and the inflation is eating 7%. So it means that your money is losing value every day. you're basically losing this money without your knowledge. Always invest your money in platforms where you'll be able to get returns, interest being higher than 6-7%. Yes, you can invest in as many as possible MMFs, as many as you want. We have, for example, CIC. We have, Zimele. We have so many of them. You can Google there, MMF. And fortunately, you register with them online. You register with them online. You register with them online. Right? But always ensure that you register on MMFs, which are under the regulatory authority. All right? The ones in this case, you see them advertising, the ones which are normally given on the Daily Nation. Is there somebody who can give us examples of regulated MMFs? Please give us the names that you know. I know some of you are investing in MMFs. Like Cyton is registered. But you see, Cyton, you have to whisper a little bit. It doesn't have a very, very good name. No, the name is tainted somehow. So you should never go to those kind of MMFs, never. Like the shilling fund is very good. Let me show you how the shilling fund works. Let me show you how the shilling fund works. Let me show you how the shilling fund works. Let me show you how the Stanchart shilling fund works. Stanchart shilling fund. Stanchart shilling fund. Let me show you how it works. Let me get the shilling fund calculator. No, I don't want the Uganda. I want Kenya shillings. Let me show you how this works. It's very important. Shilling fund calculator. Where is it? Kenya shilling. At Stanchart. It's a very good one. At Stanchart. All right. So let me share this. So I hope they're able to see this. It's the SC shilling funds. They have a very good app that you can download. Although their annual yield is not very nice, you can see their annual yield is 9%. If it rises so high, I see it being about 12%. 12%. It's something I would want you guys to go and try. So imagine you join today this SC shillings fund, and then you put in some initial amount. Let's talk over if you are a little bit rich, you put in like something like say 150,000. And then the regular monthly deposit amount, the one will be putting on a monthly basis. Let's talk of something like what here? Like 20,000. 20,000. Annual yield is like that. Years, I would want us to work with maximum. They'll give you 5 years. Let's work with maximum 5 years. Month 0. Let's see our calculator. How much will we end up getting if that happens at the end of the 5th year? So if you calculate, you can see in this case here at the end of the 5th year, the future investment here will be 1.7 million. All right, 1.7 million. All right, and here they are giving you 9.38. Interest earned is 393, 334. All right, and you can talk to these guys like that. And we have others really. We have many others really. Like this SC shilling fund is very, very good, especially if you have an account with Standard Chartered Bank. Then this becomes very good. Instead of having your money being idle at Stanchart, at StanChart, what you do is to tell StanChart, hey, move this money to the MMF. When I need this money from MMF, I'll be able to, requisition. Like myself, what I normally do. You guys, of course, we run a very successful college called the RCM Online College. So we have an arrangement with, I'll not mention the MMF. Once students in this case here pay their fees, these fees automatically, we cannot let it lying down. We have a very good budget, like how much do we pay our lecturers? How much do we pay our rent? All right. Now, with that kind of a budget, then what will happen is that any excess funds, which we don't need like to use like 1 month after today, even if it's 2 months away, we shall take that money as surplus, put it in for example, Zimele, MMF. All right. When we have a crisis, for example, at the college, maybe there is an expense that you are not planned for, which has cropped up. What do? We go to Zimele and tell Zimele, hey, we want our money. And of course, they'll be able to tell us, hey, you guys, we can give you this money, for example, in 2 days, 3 days, like that. So remember, money market fund is as good as cash. We call them cash equivalents. You can access this money anytime you wish. That's a money market fund. And now, of course, I know you guys are not lazy. I would want to leave that pet subject to you guys for further research. Money market fund. The interest rates are not very good, simply because of what you're giving this money to the bank and you're telling the bank, hey, I would want to use this money tomorrow. I may come for this money any day. So they can't really invest this money in long-term projects to earn them good interest, so they can also give you in return a better interest. All right. All right. But I believe from that presentation, you guys now will be able to go and study more about money market funds. They normally tell us, once you hit like 20 years old, there are those things that you need, like an ID card, a driving license, ladies and gentlemen. Once you hit 20 something years, you need a bank account. You also need a money market fund. You need a CDS account at central bank. You're not complete if you don't have, in this case here, these, for example, what we call the TAO. We call it the TAO. We call it the TAO CDS account with central bank. Because I expect my students here to be trading in treasury bills and to be trading in treasury bonds. You can only do that if you have got, actually it is DAO CSDS. CDS is for the shares. It is DAO CSDS. You're right. That's how we get to trade with government. Government, trading with government, nobody should cheat you that, for example, this government will default on loans. If they were to default on loans, there is no sector that will be safe. If they default on loans today, where do, for example, most of these banks of ours invest their surplus cash? They invest with government. Our so-called surplus cash is invested with government. Our pension scheme funds, excess funds, are invested with government. So if the government straight away was to default on the loans, then automatically not anywhere. All of us will receive what we call haircuts. Our bank accounts, for example, will be reduced. We can't get like 100%, etc. All right, all right, all right. So it will be very important for us to trust government and buy. Why would I want my students here to buy, especially the bonds, government bonds? There are 2 types of bonds. We have the normal bonds, like the FXD, normal bonds. We have, in this case, ladies and gentlemen, infrastructure bonds, the IFB. So these infrastructure bonds are the ones that I would want you guys to be buying, because if they're giving you, for example, the most recent one that they gave out, the infrastructure bond in this case here was an 18% yielding bond without taxes. Let me tell you something. Let me tell you something. To sell at the secondary market, you don't need a broker to deal with government. Let me share something, ladies and gentlemen, here, because you guys are my friends and I would want you to be rich. I would want you guys to be very rich. Listen, if for example today, please, I got like say 40 million Kenya shillings. If I have 40 million today, 40 million All right. So I can see my internet is not very nice, but I believe you guys are able to see something. All right. Now, if you got 40 million Kenya shillings today, what will most of you do? I know most of these ninjas here will go and build very nice apartments outside here. 30% of those apartments will not be having people to live in them. It will be very hard for you to get 100% occupancy. But a good ninja who goes and buys, for example, an infrastructure bond, IFB bond, and of course 40 million, you'll be able to squeeze in an interest of, say, 21%, 0.21. So meaning that the interest amount, ladies and gentlemen, here, the interest amount yearly will be equal to, you will take this 40 million and then you say times. Remember this one, unlike rental income, unlike most of these other incomes, there is no tax. So, ladies and gentlemen, you can see that from this 40 million, I'll be earning a cool 8.4 million, a cool. And remember this passive income. So like myself, what I'll do, once I have this arrangement, then I will be taking this 8.4 because it's also good to diversify. So I'll take this 8.4 million first year. I go to a good place like around Thika Road, maybe at Clay City. I'll get a 50 by 100 at this 8.4 million. Very good, very nice place. Around, along a major highway. Year number 2, year number 3, I can go and negotiate now with the bank. Take this 40 million IFB bond. Tell the bank here that I would want you guys to build for me a house here. And this is how it will be. This 8.4 will be the money we'll be taking. And then now see this. If I'm getting 8 million every year from this government bond, it means that by the time end of 5 years, I'll have recouped back my money. And still the government will continue, in this case here, giving me interest, say, for 20 years on the 40 million. And at the end of the maturity period of this bond, I'll get back my 40 million. The problem is that we people really, I don't know, for whatever reason, maybe it is something we inherited from our parents, we strongly believe in rental income. I'm really among those many people who are against this rental income. I don't like it. Because most of you will say that this rental income is passive. It's not passive. Mimi nimeshakuta na landlord akifukuza tenant kwa barabara. Live, is that what you call passive income? That's active income. Ama unapatana landlord anafagia, sababu amekosa kulipa caretaker, yeye anafagia sasa tena huko ameretire. I'm not saying that's a bad source of income, but let it not be your main. Let it be one of those things of diversification. You're pulling it as a stem from your main. Your main investment here should be liquid. Not what we call alternative investments. Remember, real estate, and those are alternative investments. We shall invest in bonds. We shall invest, in this case, in T-bills, etc., etc. So, ladies and gentlemen, my time is up. It's my hope that you guys have enjoyed this little session, and I would be doing them often now because I've realized the level of financial literacy is so high. This is a topic, or rather even a subject, which should be taught in high school, actually as a major subject. As a major subject. Ni ukweli, si ni ukweli namna hiyo? Sababu watu wengi wajui financial literacy. So utapata mtu, for example, kijana hapa anatuma tu fare. Ukituma fare inakuliwa 1,000. 1,000 ni shares za Safaricom. Shares ngapi wewe? Hizo ni shares ngapi za Safaricom? Labda kwa sababu ati maskini unaweza kulaumu serikali. We shall overcome. Yes, you'll be able to get a recording of this. And please don't forget our Excel classes that are starting tomorrow. We have advanced Excel classes starting tomorrow at exactly 6 p.m. How much are we charging? We are charging 2,000 bob. 2,000 bob. It's good you get to be taught this Excel. You know, Excel has got so many things. As an accountant, you need Excel knowledge. So in this case here, the class is starting tomorrow. You'll be able to see a timetable. But meanwhile, if you're interested with any of our courses at RCM College, always call us 0793 555 000. 0793 555 000 will be the number that you should always use to contact RCM. All the best. Be blessed as you walk with me on this journey of becoming rich. Ataki mnakuwa hivi na vitu ndogo ndogo, hapana pana. We must be rich people. And we must be modest in everything that we are doing. Utaniambia tu modesty, unataka kufanya harusi ya 5 million. Ya kazi gani? Itakusaidia wapi? And most of the guys unakuja kulisha pale kwa hiyo harusi ya 5 million, wanakuja kukejeli wewe. Hiyo 5 million unajenga nyumba mzuri sana hapa Kamulu na unatorokea umaskini. Unatorokea rent. I want my students here to be financially literate. Tusiendelee sana sababu yule mmefanya harusi atanipiga mawe. Na hiyo harusi kwanza inakuwa mbaya kama umefanya na pesa ya loan. Lipa loan hapa. Napata kijana mdogo miaka 27 sasa ataanza kuwa na upara. Bye. Tusiongee sana. Bye. Thank you very much. And of course, guys who are following me on Facebook, I expect you to share this particular video with all your friends. All your friends. The link, you simply pick a link from there and share it with your friends and family. Ati kidogo ni invite wife to be, alafu urudie. Ndio mwambie kama kuna mpango ya harusi kwenda pango, tafadhali tufanye harusi kidogo. Harusi mzuri kwanza ile ya DO ama ya DC, unaenda pale kwa sheria, unamaliza namna hii. Ile pesa mingi na wabakia, muweze kufanya 1 2 3 in life when you are still young. Please, Franklin Ogutu, you can get this particular video from wherever. Utalipa dawari. Dawari is very good, you pay. But please don't go poor. Not unless you are a mzee like me. You know, at my age, I can afford a wedding. Very comfortable because I've already invested. But if you're a young man of 27, 30, I'm not against it. But please, don't do like I have friends of mine, I know 1 or 2, who borrowed from Wasibu Sako to go and wed. No. You have a whole life ahead of you. Let's stop this showcasing so many things outside here. All right? 5 million is a lot of money. Why are you hiring vehicles that are not even yours, big vehicles? You do rounds with them, and then at the end of the day, you are a poor person here. We must be financially literate. And we must be able to talk to this lady, Franklin Ogutu, convince them that really it's not a wedding that spices up things in a wedding. Actually, Ogutu, if you have that 5 million with you, I mean, and then of course you have paid your dowry there, and then you do like a small wedding. Wedding atoenda kwa kanisa, uambie pastor unataka bla bla 40 people, unamaliza, unaona. Unatumia kama 500, 600,000, ushamaliza hiyo kitu. Whatever unabaki nao sasa, straight away mnaenda na huyu mama sana mdogo huyu, mko naye, mmeanza naye maisha, mnasema this is what we are going to do. And trust you me, you are blessed, and you'll start in this case your life from a very good slate. Somebody who is here married through a wedding, atakwambia wedding si kitu, inaacha familias mingi sana maskini. Inaacha familia mingi sana maskini. Unakufikiria utapatiwa zawadi. Ndio kule msana mwanafikiria nikifanya harusi utapatiwa zawadi. Zawadi gani? I know very serious people wanakuja leka bahasha haina kitu kwa kapu. Na ndio bana siku hizi ukienda kwa harusi wewe ile bahasha mtu akupatia, wacha ifunguliwe hapo. Kwa nini kufungulia nyumbani? International disaster. Am I speaking some sense, or am I being too radical? Am I speaking some sense, or am I being too radical? Please talk to me. I'm your father. Talk to me. Eric is saying be smart, kwamba ya kutumia hata shilingi. Then you must have been very lucky. I'm so sure. Then you must have done a small wedding. And that is what we really want. Everything in this case here is small. Modesty is what we are calling for. Modesty. Hata ukipata ule mmoja anakuambia kama ni wasichana, unasema kama ni wasichana nakupatia advice, at lazima ati harusi kuwe very huyo msichana wachana naye. Hata kuwa msichana mzuri huyo, wachana naye. Hata kuwa msichana mzuri, ama ukijana wachana naye, ana vision. Thank you very much, Sedi. We shall overcome. Let me not continue. Thank you. Bye.